Light is Britain's far-right conspiracy theory paper spreading hate and vicious lies. No, that's what the BBC say. The Light is the only national newspaper bringing you the real news and informed opinion on what's really going on today. You can subscribe, order copies, submit articles, and read back issues on our website, thelightpaper.co.uk, and see for yourself why the establishment are so worried about the uncensored truth getting out to people every month. The Light Paper. Not far right, just right so far. Thelightpaper.co.uk.
Scene script. Have you ever pondered the idea of financial independence and early retirement? The notion of not having to clock in at 9 or wrestle with the daily grind? Imagine a life where you're not shackled by financial obligations or a demanding job. It's not an impossible dream, but a reality for those who embrace the FIRE movement. That's financial independence, retire early. Consider the tale of Jane, a woman in her early 30s. Jane was an ordinary person living an ordinary life. She had a 9-to-5 job, a mortgage, car payments, and a lifestyle that was comfortable but hardly extravagant. And like most people, she dreamed of a life where she didn't have to worry about money. Jane decided to make a change. She began by cutting back on non-essential expenses, saving as much of her income as possible. She invested wisely, focusing on assets that generated passive income that didn't require her to trade time for money. Slowly but surely, Jane began to build her financial independence. She was still working, but she was no longer living paycheck to paycheck. She had a safety net, a cushion that gave her the freedom to make choices based on what she wanted, not what she needed. Fast forward 10 years, Jane, now in her early 40s, had achieved her goal. She was financially independent. She had enough passive income to cover her living expenses, and she no longer needed to work to survive. She was free to retire early, to spend her time as she pleased. Jane's story may seem extraordinary, but it's not unique. It's the story of anyone who has embraced the principles of the FIRE movement. It's a tale of discipline, of sacrifice, and of a relentless pursuit of financial independence. To summarize, the key points discussed today revolve around the idea of financial independence and early retirement. It requires discipline and sacrifice, cutting back on non-essential expenses and saving as much as possible. It involves investing wisely, focusing on assets that generate passive income. But most importantly, it requires a change in mindset. It's about seeing money not as a means to buy things, but as a tool to buy freedom. It's about understanding the true value of time and the freedom that comes with not having to trade it for money. This is the essence of the FIRE movement. It's not just about retiring early, it's about achieving financial independence, about gaining the freedom to live life on your own terms. Like Jane, you too can embrace the principles of the FIRE movement and embark on a journey towards financial independence and early retirement. After all, the only thing standing between you and your financial freedom is you.
Ever wondered how much you'd need to save to achieve financial independence? The answer lies within the mathematics of a concept known as FIRE, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. The most essential number in your journey to financial independence is calculated by multiplying your annual spend by 25. Notice the emphasis on annual spend, not annual income. This calculation is based on the principle that you need £300 invested for every pound you wish to spend each month in passive income. Hence, your FIRE number is also your monthly spend times 300. This mathematical principle is founded on the 4% safe withdrawal rate, as defined by financial advisor William Bengen. He proposed this rate after analyzing the S&P 500, which typically produces an average of better than 10% growth per year when studied over a period of approximately 30 years. Bengen considered factors such as inflation and market volatility. After studying previous market activity, he concluded that a 4% rate of withdrawal per year would provide for a 30-year sustainable portfolio in the vast majority of cases. So to paint a clearer picture, if your monthly spend is £1,000, then your target for financial independence is 300 times 1,000, or £300,000. Alternatively, if your annual spend is £12,000, your financial independence target is 25 times 12,000, which also equates to £300,000. The first step in planning your financial independence, therefore, lies in understanding your monthly and yearly expenditure. Without this knowledge, it is impossible to take further strides towards your financial freedom. In summary, the mathematics of FIRE revolves around the principle of multiplying your annual spend by 25 or your monthly spend by 300 based on the 4% safe withdrawal rate. Knowing your monthly and annual spend is crucial in determining the amount you need to save to achieve financial independence. Armed with this knowledge, you can then plan your journey towards financial freedom. Remember, the journey to financial independence is not a sprint, but a marathon. Embrace the mathematics of FIRE and take the first step towards your financial independence today.
Good morning, guys. It is 7:59 on Monday the 20th of April 2026, and that means that we have completed 4 years and 3 weeks of this roughly 8-year FIRE journey. A quick look at the markets before things reset. So there was a massive spike on Friday, up 1.2% at close. Taking the market up to £99.73.5. In terms of the portfolio, the current value is 33,600. That means that the return on investment is sitting at 33.6%, and we have 337 shares in the portfolio with an average purchase price of £74.63. Now, just before things open, let me just point out the fact that essentially the spike on Friday was largely motivated by political action in relation to the Iran conflict, and I would not be a bit surprised to see that part of it at least reclawed today, or at least a bit of a pullback from that almost record high. Now the market has actually just flipped open, and as you can see, it's down 0.25% at open there. So not too dramatic so far, but it'll be interesting to see where it's at by the end of the day. I'm not going to make any prediction in relation to that at this stage. But in terms of the return on investment, let me just point out that 33% was roughly about as good as we had seen prior to the uncertainty related to the Iran conflict. And it's interesting to see it back up there again. Before we have a look at the notifications, let me just draw your attention to Monzo.
I want a bank that makes money easy.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And you are?
We're a bank called Monzo.
Oh.
I want a bank that shows me what I spend instantly.
No problem, just give us a go. See?
Can you make splitting bills easy?
Super easy, check this out.
But it's a real faff to sign up.
It takes less than 10 minutes.
Race you.
You're on.
Can I talk to a real person 24/7?
Of course.
Even now?
Yep.
Even now?
Anytime.
Can you tell me when I'm running a little low on cash?
We certainly can.
Cool. Can I afford these?
You certainly can't, sorry. can't afford that either.
That's a real shame.
Not really. Time's up. How'd you get on?
It's a draw.
Can you help me save for my next holiday?
Oh, how about you set up a savings pot in the Monzo app called Barbados, baby?
Thanks for listening, Monzo.
We're all ears.
You can go now.
Rude. You make Monzo Monzo.
Okay, so as you could see there are affiliate links in the description for the video. There's one for Monzo, obviously, one for Smarty Mobile, and finally one for Trading 212, which is a time-limited affiliate link. There are 8 days remaining if you choose to make use of that. I always say, if you are thinking about investing, please don't use that link unless you've already done your homework, unless you've already considered other platforms and you have decided that Trading 212 is the app that you wish to use, and you would be opening an account anyway, and basically that you understand investing, and you're fairly certain that you're not going to sell whenever the market is at a low, because that's obviously the worst thing that you could do. And if all those conditions are met, then I would say yes, please go ahead and use the Trading 212 affiliate link. Okay, let's have a look at the notifications. Now, I have opened this since last week, but let's just go back and look where the market was at that time. So 6 days ago, the market was sitting at 95.67 when we made our purchase, so significantly up now. Netflix down 10% as weak Q2 guidance overshadows strong Q1 earnings beat. Delivery Hero gaps 5% as Uber raises stake in the company. And the biggest stocks before earnings: Cleveland Cliffs, Bank of Hawaii, Dynex Capital, Citibank, and Smart Financial. So I don't know what Cleveland Cliffs is, but the rest all sound like they are financial companies. Okay, regular viewers to the channel will know that each week I invest £120 into the Vanguard S&P 500 exchange traded fund. That hasn't changed, and at the current market value, that'll buy us roughly 1.2 shares. So this is the Trading 212 practice platform you're looking at. And whilst these figures are the actual money that I'm trading is hypothetical, but the market data is not. The market data is correct, and the only difference I can see between the practice account and the real account is that there are no dividends paid on the practice account. So, going to go ahead and review the order. And as you can see, it's a market buy. The market is open, down very slightly this morning so far, and there is no commission payable. We're going to send it through for execution. That has happened, and indeed we bought 1.2 shares for 99.51. Pardon me. Yeah, that's quite an interesting turn of events recently. Disappointing, I suppose, in a way, to see that politics appears to have had such a strong role in the market over the past number of months, if not even years now. But it is a fact, I suppose, to say so. And I suppose to a certain extent there's always going to be a little bit of political influence in markets, as markets do closely follow politics, particularly as regards things like regulation and tariffs, not to mention other factors, but it's an inescapable fact that the markets have seen quite a bit of volatility at least in this last in this last U.S. administration. Yeah, I had actually just scrolled down while I was watching or while you were watching the Smarty Mobile advert, if you like, and I just noticed in the stats here, the 1 day high is 99.73.5, and if we go to the top, you can see that we are not far off that. The market is trading at very close to what has been its highest point ever. So it's interesting to see. I'm sure from the look of things that it'll probably not be too long, unless there's much more uncertainty. It'll not be too long before the market breaches that £100 per share mark for the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF. But nevertheless, on trading 212 at least, that's not really an issue for investors, even retail investors like myself, because you still retain the ability to buy fractional shares, and you're not tied into buying whole shares as you might be with other more established brokers, I suppose. But anyway, that's the situation as things stand. We are a little over the halfway point. As you can see, if you look at the bottom here, the free funds are now less than 25,000, and that's indicative of the fact that we've used more than half of the £50,000 made available as part of the practice account. And just for the crack, let's just have a little look at this screen. And interestingly here, you can see that the account value is sitting at 58,000. So obviously that indicates the fact that we have had that massive growth in the in the market, well, in the portfolio, I suppose. So 8,300 up, almost 8,400 as things stand. If we look at the last year, according to this, the market is up almost 13% compared to this time last year. Yeah, it looks like even with Donald Trump at the helm, that the market is actually performing pretty typically in terms of what we would usually expect. So I suppose in a sense maybe we should draw some comfort from that. Albeit there has been a fair bit of volatility. Guys, if you watch regularly, you'll know that I stream live once every week, usually at the start of the week, I think it's fair to say. That's not always possible, but normally I do manage to squeeze in a live at the start of the week. So I would invite you to come back again next week if you're interested in following the journey. If you hit the subscribe button, you will get notifications, and if you particularly enjoyed this one, please give it a thumbs up, and of course leave any comments or suggestions or indeed criticisms in the comments. I would be pleased to read those and respond in a considered manner. But in the meantime, that's it for me. I will be back next week and hope to see you then. Thanks for watching and have a good week. Bye for now.
Woke up one morning, saw the world in a new light. No more 9 to 5, I'm living my own I got a plan that's simple, a number game to play. It's the freedom that I'm chasing, I'm walking away. They said it's impossible, just a dream so far, but I've learned to count the cost. Now I'm driving my own car. I don't need a mansion, don't need a fancy name. I've got peace of mind and I'm free from the daily grind shame. It's not magic, it's maths, it's a clear-cut path. Building wealth day by day, it's all about the craft. I've got my numbers straight, my future's looking bright. No more working for a paycheck, I'm free to take flight. It's not magic, it's maths, it's the way I live. Financial freedom's waiting, with all that I can give. I cut back on the clutter, I got my spending in check, investing in my future, no time for regret. The years go by faster, my money's working too. I got a plan that's steady and it's seeing me through. They said I couldn't do it, said it wouldn't last, but I'm retiring early, leaving all that stress in the past. I'm building my empire, brick by brick. The math's all adding up and it's working real quick. It's not magic, it's math, it's a clear-cut path. Building wealth day by day, it's all about the craft. I've got my numbers straight, my future's looking bright. No more working for a paycheck, I'm free to take flight. It's not magic, it's math, it's the way I live. Financial freedom's waiting, with all that I can give. It's the power of the numbers, that's where I stand. I'm taking control and I got the upper hand. No more chasing time, no more chasing fear. With the maths in my favor, my dream is crystal clear. It's not magic, it's maths, it's a clear-cut path. Building wealth day by day, it's all about the craft. I've got my numbers straight, my future's looking bright. No more working for a paycheck, I'm free to take flight. It's not magic, it's maths, it's the way I live. Financial freedom's waiting, with all that I can give. So head to the future, here's to the plan. Financial freedom, it's all in my head. It's not magic, it's maths, and it's mine to take. A life of freedom, no more decisions to make.